I paid for my slice, man. Yo, man, I spent much money in there. What are you trying to do?
Spike Lee is one of the most stylized storytellers of our generation. He's been making films for a large audience for over 30 years. Every great director has their own definitive style which they bring to each piece they make. This creates an individual fingerprint that can be used to tell him apart from other directors and storytellers alike. Although Spike Lee is an auteur and usually directs the projects he writes, he also ventures into stories not written by himself.
Oh yes, oh yes.
This amazing storyteller has unique openings to his films and themes that touch on societal and racial issues. Like all great directors, Spike uses the actors and crews he trusts. His cinematography couples with the coloring and mise-en-scène to add a touch that is only Spike Lee. His documentary-style footage used in correlation with montage and sound design are also recognizable from a film reel away. He has made films that have helped create a better society through awareness. Our world is not always pretty, but seeing things for how they are can change a person's opinions. Spike Lee and his introductions are always quite spectacular. Each of his films opens in a different way, but they all have the signature Spike opening. In She's Gotta Have It, he gives us a bunch of pictures melted into a collage, which gives us an idea of the city these folks live in. All within the confines of New York, Spike gives his first opening like this, and this will continue throughout his career as New York is frequently a backdrop. Crooklyn puts a montage of New York in the introduction and lets the audience get a feel for what the block that Troy lives on is like. Do the Right Thing shows a dancing montage on different parts of New York streets. It gives an essence of what the film is about, albeit thanks to the sound design and a fighting Rosie Perez. Clockers feeds the audience through its montage introduction by making them all see the death and horror of the aftermath of drugs. Spike may hit you over the head with that one, but it plays into his themes. In his introductions, he shows the beauty or evil of his environment. In He Got Game, he uses a bunch of cuts with people playing ball around the country, linking basketball to the viewer and the premise of the film. Spike uses these introductions in almost all of his films. He gives us a lot of information in these alone. 25th Hour opens with a montage of lights which stood where the Twin Towers were. This montage of New York City in a time of mourning is just pure Spike Lee. Most of his films were shot in New York, and it may be a reason why most of his openings have been similar. The dramatic mood and feel for the film are given to us right from the get-go with this intro.
In my experiences, I found two types of men, the decent ones and the dogs.
Spike Lee is very well known for his messages and themes as a filmmaker. While a lot of his films differ in content, he always shows the social and racial views we have as a country. This is one of his most identifiable features as a filmmaker. He portrays his themes through characters and dialogue. His message of sexuality and black culture and She's Gotta Have It put him on the map as a filmmaker with something to say.
Big Brother Almighty!
He battled in race fighting and bourgeoisie in school days. Spike even uses his documentary films to tackle the tough issues within the black community. A few prominent moments where this comes to light in his films are with Do the Right Thing and 25th Hour. Do the Right Thing has a moment where the white cops eyeball the black folks who are just sitting and talking. It also has a huge montage that hands out stereotypes left and right. It starts with Italians and moves down the entire racial social melting pot of stereotypes and disrespectful slangs. In 25th Hour, Monty sees the words F you painted on a mirror and goes off on a similarly remarkable rant. This montage goes and bashes stereotyping culture in a similar tone, all which adheres to Spike Lee's typical themes. This was not in the script, and Spike had to call the writer to put it in after reading it in the book.
Yo!
He also uses his characters to portray these typical stereotypes in films. This theme lives through most of his characters and fits right into his overall social tone for most of his films. Look at the character of Buggin' Out. Giancarlo embodies a loud black activist stereotype to a T. His name even represents his character, which is something even Andre Bazin would be proud of. Nasserel Rivera in 25th Hour is young, naive, and all natural.
Jacob, you're a rich Jewish kid from the Upper East Side who's ashamed of his wealth.
Even without his name representing his character, Frank Slattery is a stereotypical Wall Street guy. Spike even put Barry Pepper, a Wall Street hound, with real Wall Street investors to get his character right for his performance. This is something Spike did to influence his actor to ride in a stereotyping lane just a little more and really find the role.
Wake up!
Spike Lee captures notable signature cinematography within all of his films. Although he has used repeat directors of photography, he has used many different ones as well. It really does not matter who's behind the helm of his camera department, because he always adds his own touch. One of these things is his remarkable floating dolly shot, which is seen in just about every one of his films. For example, it can be used like it was in 25th Hour and Summer of Sam. While Anna Paquin is stumbling through the halls of a club high on ecstasy, Spike uses this remarkable dolly shot. She is disoriented, and this shot makes the viewer feel it with her. When Leguizamo is drunk and trying to walk through the streets of New York, Spike creates this dolly shot to show the disorientation, and the audience feels drunk with the character. The dolly shot can also be used for contrasting types of feelings, like the one Philip's character in 25th Hour feels as he leaves the bathroom after kissing a student.
You are ugly enough. Don't stare at me!
Spike also uses the Dutch angle in most of his work. This is also used in almost every one of his films, and gives the feeling of the scene being obtuse. Given that Spike's themes are usually uncomfortable, Dutch angles work everywhere in his films, helping the audience see things as angled as they are. Spike Lee is also well known for his zoom shots, which are not only part of the dolly shot, but also a recognizable feature in all of his cinematography. While shooting his scenes, he also has a specific mise-en-scène within his cinematography. Everyone is always doing what they would be in real life. There's always action happening around in all of his films, life as usual. The choreography behind his follow takes are miraculous, and his mise-en-scène is one of a kind.
It's a tale of good and evil.
Another thing to mention about his storytelling is its uncanny ability to break the fourth wall. From his montages to speeches, Spike breaks the fourth wall for dramatic reasons all the time. They bring every viewer's personal experiences with the film even closer. Monty does this into the mirror for his speech in the 25th Hour. Although Spike used a mirror this time, he frequently likes to talk directly to the audience through the lens. Spike's talking heads are in most of his films as another important stylized trait.
Please. Yes, as I stated earlier that...
Spike Lee is also known for his extensive documentary film catalog. Most of his documentary films have been in line with his message and his social racial voice. He gained a very personal trait from his work in documentaries, and even displayed this talent in his earlier works. Spike likes to use real footage and pictures in his work. Even in his fictional narrative pieces, he uses real-life footage in his montages and editing sequences. Summer of Sam opens with a real news reporter talking about his love-hate relationship with New York. It also gives the actual portraits of victims of the real killer. Real-life footage in his narrative enhances the power of his storytelling.
Wearing the Ihram garb, I made my 7 circuits around the Kaaba.
Malcolm X has numerous points where they use real-life footage and pictures to bring his story to life. She's Got a Habit opens with tons of pictures of the city and families on the streets. Clockers shows those real pictures of dead black people in the streets. Once again, Spike Lee inserts a little of his documentary style in every film. It helps feed his message and storytelling style even further. 25th Hour uses documentary-like shots for shots of Ground Zero, and takes it up another notch during Monty's FU montage. His documentary style of filmmaking is present in everything he has done. Spike is also recognizable as a director through his use of montage and editing. Sound is also in this mix because it lives in the same real estate, and most of it happens in the edit bay. Spike has montages in each of his films that help push the story or themes forward. Some of his montages, like Do the Right Things, Talking Heads, reach into society. A similar type of montage is where Monty goes off in the mirror. These both hit on his passions for New York and the stereotypes of the people in it. In Summer of Sam, he puts a musical montage in when showing Richie and his rock-hard ways. His montages always bring one to form some sort of catharsis, with or without all of the tragedy. Another montage in 25th Hour is the dream montage while Monty is going to prison. This montage takes the audience through the story's theme about making decisions and what is right and wrong. Will he get off on this exit and try for this life, or is he just dreaming?
This is a beautiful country, Monty.
Most of Spike's montages are accompanied by a voiceover or music. This is where we can combine the likes of editing and sound design. His edits always move with the music and sound. He seems to cut on the action with specific sound nuances within his films. If a scene is supposed to be intense, we usually get a long sequence of quick cuts. When Spike really wants you to feel something, he uses a repetition with both sound and cutting even montage. There are multiple gunshot sounds in some of his films while changing scenes or to signify an important moment. He Got Game has a sequence towards the middle, which Jesus is getting taught by his abusive father. Spike uses tons of quick action cuts combined with repetitive cuts. Seeing the same thing more than once really solidifies it within the mind of the audience. This symbolizes the strength and greatness in which his son was formed, and why Jesus couldn't care less about his father.
They're killing us like dogs! Right here!
In BlacKkKlansman, this editing technique is used while the speaker is telling his followers to kill them all. This symbolizes his message of racial tension and police brutality in the film. If people in your community keep getting killed by police, would you not fight back with powerful words or eventually action? The oppressive system is something that Spike helps create more awareness about, only helping to shift society towards good.
Trying to help you, you little prick.
25th Hour uses this editing style when he's putting the dog in the trunk. The trunk slams 3 times to get the point across. This symbolizes the choice he made to save the dog and resonates with the theme. Spike wanted us to know that this film is about choice and the consequences therein. Spike uses his editing and sound design in unison. They always seem to match and have similar vibes. He uses beautiful jazz in many scenes and really establishes his sound design with powerful soundtracks and music. One can see that Spike has a thing for jazz and pop because they are prevalent in most of his work from the beginning. Mo Better Blues was about jazz and had sound incorporated into the entire picture.
Yep. Meatball Hero, eggplant parmesan, you got it.
Do the Right Thing and its pizza shop scenes have incredible sound effects from the cash register to the music during the hate montage. Raheem also shows the audience Spike's delicious sound design with the radio and all its fight the power messaging in multiple scenes. In 25th Hour, the scene with the Twin Tower lights says it all. When viewing the city with sadness, Spike lets his viewers mourn through the sound. It is a profound moment to stand above those lights and feel for the city. He does this when his sound design gets going in any film. When Spike wants you to feel something important, he uses crescendo in the music. He raises the levels and creates a much more powerful moment. He also likes to use songs which either directly contrast or harmonize with the moment. Summer of Sam is full of cuts with his music design blaring while people are getting killed. The song playing is usually in contrast to the scenes such as Fooled Around and Fell in Love. After the teacher kisses his student in 25th Hour, Rabbi Simon comes on. Clearly, it is not alright that he made out with a high school student. Directly in contrast to the moment, but beautifully done as always. His music always keeps the audience paying attention. It keeps our mind going in the direction of the film because he lets the sound and editing get us there. His pacing of his films directly results from all of these factors and makes Spike even more unique. He's regarded as a poet of pacing, which has always been thanks to his cutting and sound design.
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
Spike Lee is one of the most talented filmmakers to grace this planet. His style and message are fluid throughout all of his work, whether he wrote it or not. Spike tends to work in the vein of social and racial issues that make us think about our own reality. His sense of cinematography and framework are always visible in his content. He has a unique documentary film style that gives us voyeuristic shots and inserts neo-realism. He also uses montage through his editing, which helped pave the way for his sound design. Spike's work is easily recognizable to many film buffs around the world. He may mesh a bunch of styles together from all of his influences, like many great directors do, but he lives in a realm of his own. He's directed just about every type of media format, from musicals to commercials.
I have to express myself. I have to tell my story.
Spike Lee has influenced so many storytellers throughout different generations. His fingerprint in cinema helps share an experience that has been pushed beneath the surface by greed, systematic corruption, and hate. Now we have more truth in film because of the work he has created.